Hi everybody, it's Melanie with There Is No Edge and welcome back. So today it's gonna be a little Debbie Downer with a little happiness. And the only reason I say that is because today I wanted to do a video dealing with depression. I have had some low points in my life, and I know when you start on a journey like this one to release that weight, to release those anxieties, to release those insecurities, to release a lot of different things, it can be very hard on you. And I know from personal experience, you can hit a low point. I was on Facebook this morning and I saw a Facebook quote that said, you know, I would rather hear your journey and listen to your story. I'm probably messing this all the way up. But it said, I'd rather listen to your story than attend your funeral. And that is so true. I have to start off by saying I am nowhere am I a certified clinician, doctor, therapist, counselor. I am not. I do have friends and resources, and I will link after I talk to them, because I just thought about it, down below. I have a friend who actually owns a counseling service, so I will ask her excuse me, I would ask her before I actually link it below, but I don't think she would have a problem with it. So I just wanted to talk about that, as well as give you an update on me and how things are going. So just to start off, what I'm about to tell you, there's only two people that know this. Well, three if you count myself. But there's only two people that know this. That would be my therapist, and that would be my sister. And I just told my sister maybe a couple of months ago when I hit another rock bottom place in life, and she was so worried that I might do something crazy. So as you all know from previous videos, in April, I went to the hospital. Well, it started in January, started November of last year, and trickled into 2020 because 2020 has been awful. And so in February, you know, I had surgery. In April, I actually went back to the hospital, and I was faced with something that just drove me crazy, and that was having to take needles. And I hit a low point because in my mind it was like, why me? I've hit a couple of those why me points in life. So for a why me moment, I don't know. So let me backtrack, because I want to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then tell you what April felt like and how I was able to not fall into the same traps I fell into before. So many moons ago, and I do mean about maybe 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I hit a point in life where I wondered, why am I here? What is my purpose? Why am I here? At that point, I had some pain pills from when I was not feeling well, and I thought about taking them. All of them. I'm trying not to cry. I thought about taking them because I figured I have good insurance. So with me gone, my mom would be taken care of for life. My sister would be taken care of for life. My niece would be straight. My dad would be straight. Everybody in my life would be straight. And I wouldn't have to worry anymore. I wouldn't have to care anymore. I wouldn't have to... Everything would be better for everybody if I wasn't here. It's 10 years ago I had that thought. That, you know, everything would be better if I wasn't here. And so I really sat and I thought about it, and I was like, okay, how can I do this? Because I'm not a cutter. By no means do I like anything sharp entering my body. But I had these pills, and I thought about it. And I want to tell you what stopped me. It wasn't I had this epiphany that the world needed me. It wasn't that I had this epiphany that, you know, I am worthy to be here. It wasn't that. It was the thought that the only two people that had keys to my house was my mom and my niece. At that time, it was an apartment. It was my mom and my niece. And my niece was the closest to me. And I thought about, I can't do that to her. I can't let her be the one that finds me like this. I can't do that to her. And that's what stopped me. It wasn't about me at that point. It wasn't about the hurt, the discouragements, the depression, because I didn't even realize I was depressed. I was in a state of depression. I would get up, go to work, come home, sit down, get up, go to work, come home, sit down, get up, go to work, come home, sit down, get up, go to... You get the point. I didn't know I was in a state of depression. I didn't know it. I thought I was okay. And having that thought, and the next thought was, go on and do it. But then thinking, who would find me? Who would find me? And knowing that the people that would find me are two people that I could not do that to. Like, I just couldn't. I couldn't. I don't want my mama to come in this house and in my apartment, and that's what she saw, and she would have to deal with that for the rest of her life. And God knows I couldn't do that to my niece. That's my heart. Oh, it's like, I don't have any kids. That's the closest thing I have to a child. So it was just like, I can't do this. I can't stop myself. I can't do this. So, this video might be a little longer than I expected it to be. But, so back in April, I will say, back then, I didn't know the power of therapy. I didn't know the power of therapy. I didn't know the power of speaking out, because I want you to know that I suffered in silence. Even after then, I still was going through depression. And what I began to do, that's when I found a love for writing. I began to write my feelings out. Just how I feel. Sometimes I write people letters. If people piss me off and I can't tell them how I feel, I write them a letter. I may never mail it. They may never see it. But I've said what I need to say. So, I'm trying to turn this around and not make it so depressing. But those were some tools that I used back then. Was the journaling, getting out of my routine. So shaking up my routine. I think at that time I did start going to the gym, but not hardcore. It was just a little bit of gym going. It was more finding friends, because I was just moved to Columbia. So it was finding friends here that I could not party with, but friends that I could have an outlet with, where it wasn't just that same old routine, go to work, come home, go to bed, go to work, go home, come to bed. So I found people to have an outlet with, things to do. So fast forward to April of 2020. So this is like 2010. So that was 2010. So fast forward April to 2020. I didn't know my sister felt the way she felt until we talked. But after being in the hospital, after having to face giving myself insulin shots every day, and remember at this time I am taking 4 insulin shots a day and 5 on Sunday. Remember, at this time. And immediately I was like, what am I gonna do? I gotta take all these shots. But I will say, not one time did "this is over" hit my head. Not one time. Because at this point I had established good mental health routines. And what I mean by that is fast forward about maybe 4 years ago, my mom got really sick. Like 4 or 5 years ago, my mom got really sick. And I became her 100% caregiver. And if you know what it is to become somebody's 100% caregiver, plus work a full-time job, plus try to work on yourself, it is rough. And I do mean rough. At that point, I realized journaling wasn't enough. So I went and I actually got a therapist who, when I say, if you are a stigma for therapy, or if you just, oh, I don't want to get a therapist, then don't. Get somebody to talk to. Get somebody that doesn't know your life to talk to. And the reason I say that is because I realized that with my therapist, I tell her things that I would never tell my family. I'm getting to the point now where some things I can share with them because I've become okay with the situation and what has happened. But for me, it was like, I need somebody to talk to that don't know nothing about this situation, that could tell me if I'm losing it. And so at that point, I began seeing a therapist. At that point, I was seeing one like once a week because I was just so stressed. And so now I currently only see her once a month. However, back in April, I had went back to seeing her once a week. The reason being is because I never want to hit a low point like that again. For me, it is so important to understand my purpose, to understand my worth, and to understand that, hey, life happens. That why me factor, guess why? Because you can handle it. Anytime you get that, oh my God, why me? Why me? Why? So it's like a why me factor. People get that why me factor and they don't realize that the why me is because you're strong enough to handle it. Why me? I lost my job. Why me? Because you're strong enough to handle it. God knows, and not necessarily if you don't believe in God. I'm not going to go that route. But even if you don't believe in God, I know that you are strong enough to deal with whatever comes your way. Why me? I have friends that are like a size 6. I have some friends that are size 0s. I have some friends that are size 12. Why am I in the high double digits of sizes when I have all these friends around me that's not? And the reason is because I'm strong enough to, not saying they're not, but I'm strong enough to deal with what goes on in my life. The things that happen to me, I am strong enough to deal with them. And I'm going to have to deal with them. So when me and my sister talked, that was one of her things, was like, are you okay? You don't sound good on the phone. You haven't been sounding good for weeks. And I just want to make sure you're fine. And that's when I told her about that low point, which really got her calling me all the time now. But that's when I told her about my low point in life, and that she didn't have to worry about me ever going back there again. That's not going to happen because I have set those tools in places. I know therapy works for me. Therapy works for me. Some people go as far as have, I think it's like electrotherapy. I don't want to go that far. But therapy works for me. Talking it out. I'm a talker. I love to talk. That's my thing. So talking it out works for me. Writing it down, expressing how I feel works for me. Understanding that this is a why me problem, but I can handle this problem. I can make changes in my life to combat this problem. This is something I can combat. You know, even if it was an illness that would never go away, because, you know, type 2 diabetes can be reversed. So even if it was something that I could not get rid of, I can find a healthy routine to deal with it. So for me, depression started to hit again in April. I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't getting depressed. I was not happy-go-lucky. I was depressed. I was depressed, and I wasn't to my lowest point in life, which I already told y'all about. I was at a point where I was like, why did I let this happen? And it was because I didn't put in tools back then to not be here. Because when I was pre-diabetic, that was the time to do all the different tools and things. Then when I became a diabetic and only was taking pills, that was the time to put in good places and tools. What I did back then was I just worked out till I was losing my mind, and it seemed to work, so I was happy. I didn't put in the nutrition factor of it, which now, because of the diabetes, I have no choice but to put in the nutrition factor of it and also the workout factor of it. So for me, my why me depression moment in April became a why not you? Why not get back to helping others and helping yourself? That's why I'm coming back and being very transparent with you guys. This is hard for me to just, let me remind you, there was only 2 people in this world that knew that happened. I have just put this out in the world that I was someone that suffered with depression so bad I was going to take my own life. So I want to make sure that you know that you're not alone. You may see me on here smiling, you may see me on here happy. I have moments where I am sad, but I don't let them tear me all the way down anymore, because I know there's life after that moment. There is life after that moment. Even when I just felt like I don't have no purpose, I don't have this, I don't have that, there still was life. there still was life. There still was. Just wanted to talk about depression and just let you guys know that you are not alone, and that there are tools and things that you can do to overcome and combat depression. So I have talked and talked and talked way too long. I know it was a long video, so if you made it to the end, I want to say thank you for watching. I also want to tell you that you can find me at www.thereisnoedge.com. There is a contact me button, so if you don't have anybody to talk to and you need somebody to talk to, I'm always here and willing to listen. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, you name it, I'm there as There Is No Edge. So, like I always say, in any and everything you do, make it count. Talk to you guys later. Bye.